Alright, next we're going to put on here is the floats. And you usually want to check the rubber tip on these floats, make sure everything looks decent. It's not flat, you know, there's a decent tip to it, so we know that it's going to make a seal. It's going to seal inside there and shut the fuel off, because that's what these floats do. When the levels rise, the floats go up just like they're sitting right now, and it shuts off the fuel to the carburetor. Okay. Looks like this one holds a lot of fuel because there's no actual adjustment for this. Oh, that's weird. Usually there's an adjustment on these. There's a metal tab you can bend. Oh, on this one, that's it. Alright, so now we get to see if this fits. $10. Everywhere else I looked, this little guy right here was freaking $20. Yep, look at that. Fits like a glove. Shout out to Brutal Customs. Couldn't believe I actually found that for that price. Oh, you know what? I just found out where that goes. This goes on here. I'm willing to bet. Yeah, perfect. So that's where that pin's going to go through, which is this pin right here. I like to use WD-40 on a lot of stuff. I'll put it on there. It's a good all-around cleaner. It's not going to hurt nothing in the carb. And it'll take a lot of this corrosion off a lot of times too. Another thing I'd like to look for on these carburetors whenever you're taking them apart, look at these diaphragms. Make sure these diaphragms aren't rotten. Make sure they're not, you know, real bad, chewed up. I've seen them where this rubber's like almost gone and you can see the material behind it. And this one's over here. See, this one's really good shape. Moves real freely. It's not rotten. It's got a nice shine to the other side. So those are good. So, anyways, I'm not worried about that right now. Hopefully I'm not forgetting nothing. If you guys got any questions, hit me up on this video here. If y'all are not sure about something, please ask me some questions, man. I like answering questions. I like helping people out with a little bit of knowledge. Like I tell my kids, I don't know a whole lot, so don't ask me too many questions. No, I'm just joking. But don't be afraid to hit me up, man. I like to help people out because I know what it's like to need some help if you can't figure something out. Hopefully people out there are getting some good info out of this video and not just being bored about it. So these, I always make sure I put some pressure down while I'm tightening because I don't want to strip that screw out. I don't know what they make these screws out of, but I swear they'll strip faster than I don't know what. I guess strip faster than a hooker waving a $2 bill at her. That dad joke. Alright. One thing I don't like about this one is it's got a little corrosion right there. Let's see, scoot back. Get some my small tools drawer. Perfect. Yeah, see there's a little corrosion on that. A little crunchy. Tell you what, I never throw anything away. Out of all the bikes I've done in the past, I don't throw nothing away, man. You just never know when you could use it. So it's like a little dust boot. Covers that. This goes in here. You got your spring. Goes in there. That spring's what's going to keep that down. Oh, and I got those parts soaking. Alright. They were a little dirty. Like I said, my son didn't. So we're going to pause the video real quick. I'm going to flush these off. Alright, so clean these out. So one thing you want to look at in here is that there's for this diaphragm to actuate, it's got to have air on both sides so it can move. Otherwise, it's like a balloon. It'll just stay one direction with the pressure. So there's a journal here, and there's a little journal in here. So that's to let the air on the back side back in so this diaphragm can move both directions. So make sure you blow those through. I put some WD-40 in here, and you'll see this fill up with some fluid, and then same, blow it out with an air compressor, whatever you can do. I'm guessing these 3 screws are my buddies. And yet again, I don't know how they put this on. Right here. Oh, it's only going to go one way. 2 holes, faces one direction. Make sure you hold this down firm in place while you're putting these screws in, because just like the top side, it's a spring, man. It wants to go. Usually once you get one spring down in there tight, it'll stay in place. But until then, don't let go of it. If you need, you grab a second person, give you some help. Just because you don't want to lose that spring, man. Or get hit in the eye with it. I've been hit in the eye with many things. Brake fluid, springs, C-clips. I don't know how I haven't put my damn eye out yet. Every time all the sun comes in here, he always wants to hand me my glasses because he's like, Dad, don't remember your eyeballs? Okay. And the other diaphragm goes over here. Spring on the back side. 2 more screws. Boom. He's almost done. That's where a little bit extra long screwdriver comes in handy, because you can get on top of it without both hands being in the way. Get that tight. Loosen it. The only thing you probably got to worry about these is if you don't get those diaphragms sitting in right, you might squish that gasket. So if it's not wanting to go on correctly, I would say take a look at that gasket. Okay, now here comes the fun part, trying to figure out this linkage, because I don't know how this went. This part, I was not here. I was not in class for this part. I'm gonna say probably ha! Got it. I figured it all out on my own. Hold on. Not all clear yet. Okay, there's a plastic washer. That's probably going to go in between that, because you don't want metal on metal. So there's a little plastic washer. I'm going to assume it went there. And this is going to sit here, because that's going to push down on that little pin, or the vice versa. Okay. And then the bolt. Oh my god, the puppies are out there making noise. Let's see. Yep, there it goes. That's pushing. So what that's doing right there is pushing on that diaphragm, which is pushing fuel. It's going to squirt a little bit of fuel out that jet right there. It's going to squirt. So every time you kind of give it some gas, it's going to squirt. It's going to pee a little bit of fuel down the throat of this thing. Now this probably went on the back side. No. This one on the back side. The smaller one on the back side. And I think this lock washer was supposed to go. Probably lock washer was probably supposed to. Lock washer was supposed to go somewhere. Don't know. Now that I'm thinking about it, lock washer wouldn't go on that, because then that would lock that into place. I don't know. I'll have to ask my son when he gets home. Now that works freely. Okay. Did I put a washer on that side? Nope. Here's the washer. Alright guys, well you see how it goes together. This pin will go through here. This pin keeps that in place.